Chapter 49. What the hell did Lin Moyu do? At least 50 or 60 meters away, the group of monsters has found Lin Moyu. The monster roared at the same time and rushed towards Lin Moyu. 10 monsters, not many. Lin Moyu saw in his eyes that the detection technique had already flown out. Fill in orc warrior level 15. No more information is available. No attributes, no skills. This is the first time detection has returned so little. Lin Moyu saw a long tail dragging behind the Farron orc warriors. Every film orc warrior is as high as a giant lizard. A giant lizard that can walk upright. The roar resounded throughout the battle space, attracting the attention of other Farron orcs. All of a sudden, several teams of Farron orcs appeared in Lin Moyu's sight. If you switch to another profession, you should encounter a wave with the nearest Farron orcs. Destroy a few of them with full power burst skills, retreat when they form a siege, and conduct roundabout operations. Once caught in the siege, the result can be imagined. But this kind of tactics is suitable for others, but not for Lin Moyu. The 3 skeleton warriors standing beside him came out at the sound and rushed towards the Farron orc. The knives went up and down, and the first few film orcs were seriously injured. After being stabbed, the Farron orc was dying, but not dying. There is still a little vitality left. Huh. I couldn't drop it in seconds. This attribute. Lin Moyu was a little surprised that the skeleton warrior didn't kill the Farron orc in seconds. The physique attributes of the Farron orcs are not low. Their attacks fell on the skeleton warrior, but did not cause much damage to the skeleton warrior. It shows that their power is not strong. This is a monster type with strong physique but weak strength. Lin Moyu has a judgment. If 1 knife is not enough, then 2. A Farron orc fell to the ground screaming, dead. Lin Moyu's points also changed instantly. From 3605 to 3655 points. Although the picture of the 5th round of the test could not be seen in the control room, the score change could be seen. Lin Moyu started. Kill the first one, it's fast. Then the score jumped again, directly changing from 3655 to 4105. This change shocked the examiners. They looked at each other alone, not knowing what happened. How could it increase so much all of a sudden? The skeleton warrior kills a Farron orc warrior, followed by Lin Moyu with corpse explosion. With a loud noise, this group of film orcs was wiped out. 10 Farron orcs added 500 points to Lin Moyu. Then Lin Moyu didn't act anymore, but waited for the remaining Farron orcs to arrive. Since people will rush over, why should I go to such trouble to find the door? There are still 9 corpses here. After they come over, just use corpse explosion directly. But the next second, Lin Moyu was surprised to find that the body was gone. The corpse seemed to have sunk into the pitch-black earth and disappeared. The corpse existed for a very short time, less than 10 seconds before and after. It turned out to be like this. It looks like the plan is going to change slightly. Looking at the Farron orc team running from all directions, Lin Moyu released several skeleton warriors. A total of 9 skeleton warriors were released, 1 for each team. The skeleton warrior greeted them proactively with a click sound, and then ran with the Farron orc team. It's like dragging monsters, gradually bringing them together. 2 minutes later, the mob poll was over. Nearly 100 Farron orcs have gathered together. The skeleton warriors struck at the same time, instantly killing a Farron orc. The roar was loud in an instant. Lin Moyu almost used corpse burst 7 or 8 times in just 3 seconds. The pitch-black earth trembled. All Farron orc warriors were slaughtered. Lin Moyu's points also reached 8,605 points in an instant. The control room of the trial tower became lively again. What the hell did Lin Moyu do? Why did his points increase so much all of a sudden? God knows, we can't see things in the battle space. However, Lin Moyu had 3,605 points before and now has 8,605 points, an increase of exactly 5,000 points. It can only be said that the first batch of 100 monsters have been wiped out by him. As for how, I don't know. the examiners looked at each other. You look at me, I look at you. Looking at other people's scores, I really can't figure out why. After all, Lin Moyu is just a little guy at level 16, no matter how strong his skills are, he can't be so strong. Killing 100 monsters at once is unbelievable when you think about it. Like an elemental mage who is good at group monsters, Xia Shui's points are all 50, 100 points are going up. There's no such thing as Lin Moyu who directly raised 5,000 in a few minutes. Who will believe it? Ning Xianfeng was much calmer than the examiners, but his eyelids were still twitching. Even his knowledge is hard to imagine how Lin Moyu did it. What the hell did this kid do? What kind of profession is a necromancer? Where is his limit? One question mark after another appeared in Ning Xuanfeng's heart. At this moment, he is also very curious about what happened in the battle space. It's a pity that he doesn't have enough authority, and he doesn't have the right to view it. It can only be analyzed and judged through integral changes. In the battle space, the corpse disappeared without a trace after only existing for 10 seconds. Lin Moyu quietly waited for the second batch of monsters to appear. This time, it shouldn't be like the fourth round of testing. We have to wait a minute. As soon as the thought fell, a sense of crisis emerged spontaneously. The sky was red, and dozens of fireballs with a diameter of 1 meter fell on the head like meteorites. Chapter 50 The second stage, increasing difficulty. Lin Moyu was shocked, and the skeleton warriors formed a shield-shaped defense line like an arhat, firmly protecting Lin Moyu. The fireball like a meteorite fell on the skeleton warrior, exploding sparks all over the sky, which was very gorgeous. Lin Moyu is well aware of his weaknesses. My physique is too poor. If I suffer a strong attack, a large amount of damage will be transferred to the skeleton warrior. This will cause the skeleton warrior to take great damage. If the skeleton warrior blocked the gun for himself, the result would be completely different. With the strong physique and super high defense of the skeleton warrior, it can almost ignore such a little damage. Lin Moyu stood behind the skeleton warrior and saw the orc team appearing in front of him. A group of feline orc mages can swing their wands and unleash a rain of fire attacks. A large number of feline orc warriors are rushing towards them brandishing their weapons. These monsters appeared silently, without any warning. The corner of Lin Moyu's mouth drew an arc. No matter how he appeared, just don't wait for refresh. The mage monsters continued to release their skills behind them, and the rain of fire never stopped. In order to ensure his own safety, Lin Moyu made 10 skeletons form a shield to block the mage's attack. At the same time, 10 skeletons were released to meet the orc warriors. Skill! An order was issued in the heart, and the hands of the skeleton warriors suddenly lit up with red light. Furious blow. With the strength attribute of the skeleton warrior as high as 5,000, and then using skills, the attack power is doubled. The film orc warriors were instantly killed one after another. Lin Moyu's palm glowed. There was a loud roar. The corpse exploded and spread wildly. The feline orc warrior fell down like cutting rice. In just a few seconds, hundreds of film orc warriors rushing over were already dead. 10 skeleton warriors rushed towards the feline orc mage like lightning. 5,000 points of agility brings amazing speed. With a huge attribute gap, the skeleton warrior has already appeared after images in Lin Moyu's eyes. In the blink of an eye, the skeleton warrior appeared in front of the feline orc mage across a distance of tens of meters. Hands up and down, one knife kills one by one. The physique of the feline orc mage was not as good as that of the warrior, and he was killed one by the skeleton warrior. The fire rain disappeared, and everything returned to calm again. Lin Moyu's place is peaceful, and the examiners in the control room of the trial tower still stared wide-eyed. Lin Moyu's points only stopped for more than 10 seconds, and then rose like a rocket again. 14605 points. In less than 10 seconds, the points increased by 600 points at once. This means another 120 monsters were killed by Lin Moyu. Twice before and after, the problem has been explained. This guy has group attack skills. This profession is against the sky. The single skill is already abnormal enough, and the group attack skill is also abnormal. Not only the skills are powerful, but the summoned objects are equally powerful. I think this profession has surpassed the legendary level, and can be compared with those few professions. I can't say that for the time being. After all, the level is still low. It depends on the future. Being strong at a low level doesn't mean it will be strong at a high level. It doesn't work at a low level, and it doesn't mean it doesn't work at a high level. There are even some professions that are not very good all the time. Until they get a certain magical skill, they become irreplaceable. There is a profession that is usually useless. But once a war breaks out, it is like a god. All of his skills are Legion group skills. With such a professional in a Legion, the combat effectiveness of the whole Legion can be doubled. Lin Moyu didn't know what the examiners thought. At this moment he heard a roar. The whole earth shook several times, like an earthquake. The corpse disappeared in the shock, as if swallowed by the earth. Invisible gas grew from the ground, and the air became even more bloody, even carrying a smell of corpses. It's disgusting. The sky grew darker and darker. The breath was so oppressive that it was hard to breathe. The second stage. Lin Moyu looked at the sky. He seemed to be very comfortable with this breath, and he didn't have any aversion to it. Perhaps his profession has something to do with it. The breath of death did not make him feel uncomfortable. He didn't like the smell that was getting heavier and heavier. The earthquake gradually stopped. Lin Moyu surrounded himself with skeleton warriors, and kept vigilant about his surroundings. A few seconds later, footsteps sounded. Coming! Lin Moyu said to himself in his heart. A large number of monsters suddenly appeared around. Monsters appeared from all directions, with 5 monsters as a group to form a small team. Fill an orc fighter, level 16. Fill an orc archer, level 16. Each team has a ratio of 3-2, with 3 fighters and 2 shooters. Both fighters and archers are level 16. There are at least 40 teams scattered around. From a distance, Lin Moyu seems to be surrounded by it. After entering the second stage, not only the level of monsters has increased by 1 level, but the number has also doubled. Lin Moyu is not worried about this. To him, level 16 is just a monster. Even without exploding corpses, there are only 20 skeleton warriors, and it takes a little time to hack all these guys to death. He was thinking about another question at this time. Based on this level of difficulty, it is very difficult for other professions to pass the second stage. Even if we can break through, it will take a lot of time. The difficulty of the first stage is not high in Lin Moyu's eyes. As long as they spend a little effort, most professionals can break through. The second stage is much more difficult. Just increasing the level by 1, doubling the monsters, and 2 changes are enough to increase the difficulty several times. Coupled with the appearance of archers, archers are known as the natural enemies of mages. This change will put most mage classes off.